You know that feeling when a short horror film really gets under your skin and just stays there? Well, it's not just a lucky jump scare. Turns out there's a kind of formula, a blueprint for creating that kind of viral terror. And today, we're going to take that blueprint apart piece by piece.
So here's the big question, right? In this age of just endless scrolling, how on earth do you make someone feel genuine dread in less than 5 minutes? It takes a whole lot more than just a loud noise. No, it takes a real strategy.
Okay, so our blueprint is broken down into 5 key stages. We're going to start with that all-important hook, in the first 10 seconds. Then we'll set a totally normal scene, introduce a creepy pattern of fear, build up that dread with clues, and then bam, hit you with that final game-changing twist.
All right, first up, the opening. It all comes down to those first 10 seconds. You've got to hook your viewer and just not let go. And we're not just talking about getting their attention, right? This is about sparking that immediate sense of curiosity and a little bit of unease.
You see, the best hooks don't just throw the monster at you right away. No. The goal is to make you feel like you've just stumbled upon something you were never, ever meant to see. Like some creepy found footage, or a quick peek behind a door that was supposed to stay locked. It's all about creating mystery, not just a cheap shock.
So, this entire blueprint, it actually follows a pretty precise 8-point structure. You've got the hook, the setup, the first weird thing that happens, then a repeated pattern. After that, the investigation starts, the clues build up that dread, you get a huge reveal, and then that final terrifying twist. Each step builds on the last, guiding us all the way to the end. Think of it like the skeleton that holds all the fear together.
Okay, so once you've got your hook, the story needs a solid foundation. Horror just works so much better when it messes with the ordinary. So first thing you got to do is show us what normal even looks like. You have to start somewhere that feels totally familiar and completely safe.
So, for example, let's take this concept. A person moves into a cheap, rented room. We've all been there, right? It's kind of mundane. It's super relatable. And that realism, that is the absolute key. Because the more grounded and normal the world feels, the more terrifying it is when something comes along and just shatters the rules of that reality. And this is where the tension really starts to crank up. See, according to this blueprint, the best kind of horror isn't just random stuff happening. It establishes a pattern, right? A disturbing little routine. And what that does is it teaches the character, and us, exactly what to be afraid of. And even worse, when to expect it.
So imagine this. It's not just one strange event. It happens every single night at the exact same time, 1:03 a.m. A whisper, something moves, but here's the real kicker. The security cameras show absolutely nothing. This is what makes the character and us watching start to question everything. Is it a ghost? Or is it all just in their head?
So yeah, the goal here is not a cheap jump scare. Not at all. We're talking about a slow burn, the kind that really makes your skin crawl. This whole blueprint is about building that suspense through tiny, unsettling clues, creating this constant, rising feeling of dread.
And what we're talking about here is classic psychological fear. The real terror isn't in what you actually see on screen, it's in the threat of what you might see. It's the kind of fear that gets right into your head and just camps out there, long after the credits have rolled.
Just look at the difference here. A jump scare, that's a sudden shock, right? It's a momentary fright. But psychological fear, that's a slow, creeping build based on suspense. Think about it like this. It's the difference between a sudden loud bang and that lingering feeling that you're being watched. One is over in a second. The other one, well, that one follows you home.
So the big question is, how do you actually build this kind of tension? Well, the blueprint basically gives us a director's toolkit. We're talking about using things like ambient sound and total silence, or those super slow zooms that force you to wait for something awful to happen. All these little tricks are designed to crank up the suspense without giving away the monster too early.
And this brings us to the golden rule. You have got to avoid cliches. Let's face it, modern audiences have seen it all before. So the goal is to be genuinely unsettling, not just predictable. For horror to really, truly work today, it has to feel fresh.
Okay, finally, we get to the climax. Everything we've talked about, the hook, the pattern, the dread, it's all been leading up to this moment. We need a major reveal and a final, really disturbing twist that makes you rethink everything you just saw. And to really keep people on their toes, this structure demands not one, not two, but at least 3 plot twists. It's all about playing with expectations. You lead the audience down one path, and then you just pull the rug out from under them. Again and again.
So the ultimate twist, the real gut punch, comes when the main character goes back and reviews their own footage. And they realize the horror wasn't just some brief event happening at 1:03 a.m. Oh no, it was always there, hidden in plain sight the entire time, just out of view. They were never, ever safe.
And that really leaves us with one final, unsettling thought, doesn't it? The most effective horror, it's not about some monster from another dimension. It's about the terror that's already hidden in the places we feel the safest, totally overlooked in the corners of our own lives. Which makes you wonder, what terrifying thing have you been overlooking?